Style, ladies and gentlemen. Today's
Welcome, everyone.
It's a different video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see him still.
Yeah.
It's a different video, guys. We're standing today.
Yes.
And we have a lovely table and we have a lovely guest.
God, thank you for bringing me back, guys. I brought
Yeah.
some presents for you.
You did!
Yes, sir. Let's talk about it.
So this is part of, as you guys know, our special.
Yes.
Reaching our milestone, all thanks to you guys.
500 subscriber special.
We're even having this guy back. Why did you grab him back? We didn't have to do that,
Yeah.
but thank you again for coming, my friend.
Always a
And
pleasure.
you've got some gifts for us. So what do you got here?
Yeah, so I brought about 6 watches with me today. I've got something from each end of the spectrum, something on the lower end, guys that are just looking into watches and getting into the luxury world of watches. Then I brought some heavy hitters as well, one of my favorite watches we have in stock, and then 2 other really, really cool watches that most people don't get to see.
Yeah.
So starting off, I'm just going to start with one of our entry-level watches that I brought. It's a Longines HydroConquest. It's a nice quartz chronograph. Comes in just under 20,000 Rand. And it's something that I would definitely consider to anyone that is getting into watches and wants something that is durable, reliable, and you don't have to really worry about setting the time on it.
Okay. So this is more of your affordable side of watches, right? Okay.
Yeah. And it's something different to Tag. Tag is always the first go-to for people that are looking for something that is affordable.
Okay.
And I think Longines really is a great alternative.
I've actually, with Longines, I always associate them, I find out with more like women's watches, actually, because they're very sleek. I mean, I'm thinking about, if I was taking the Evidenza, if I'm not mistaken, I think of those type of watches. So something nice and chunky, but very light, actually, compared to...
Yeah, I mean, when you
counterparts
look at
of
it, it
goods.
looks like it's heavy, but
It's really, really light.
yeah.
And so, like, how do Longines usually perform from your experience?
So Longines definitely is a brand that we get to work with quite a bit. They are priced around the 20 to 50,000 Rand for majority of their watches on the pre-owned markets.
I see.
And that's generally around 40 to 60% off of their retail prices. So for the savings you're getting on the pre-owned market, you are getting really good quality and you're getting something that is a bit different. It's not just a tag, it's got a bit of color to it.
Yeah.
And I think Longines definitely presents their watches in much more high quality boxes, especially compared to Tag and Breitling.
Okay.
And then in terms of daily wear, do you see this as a Monday to Friday, I'm at the office doing some meetings, getting things done? What do you see it in terms of like wearability?
So I definitely see this as quite a good daily watch, especially for a younger crowd, I would say. I think it does definitely suit someone that is just graduated from university or school, someone that wants a bit of a taste into the luxury world. It's definitely something you can wear every single day. You can always take the bracelet off, throw it on a rubber strap, for example, and then you get even more versatility out of it.
Yeah.
It's a very good casual watch as well. You don't have to stress too much about someone coming after your arm to try and steal this from you.
That's a good start.
And that's a big thing here in SA. I think people have to be very cautious about what brands they go for and which models they go for.
Yeah, and obviously getting what you want as well at the day, and the quality and stuff. Okay, cool. No, shout out Longines. That's a very, very, very good one. What else
Actually, I heard a quick fact. Longines, apparently their trademark is the oldest trademark in the world. Just a quick fact. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like their trademark with the wings, yeah. It's the oldest trademark.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. And what's this other one?
So next up, I've got this really cool Bell&Ross, and most of you might know Bell&Ross for their square case-shaped BR1s, which they're most famous for. Yeah. And this is something different from them. It's a GMT in a traditional circular case shape, and comes with a nice open crystal, so you can see the nice movement inside there.
Good.
Very comfortable watch, and I think it works as a perfect daily for anyone that is traveling a lot or that does need to track a second time zone.
Okay.
Beautiful, very clean. I like the little touch. I mean, gives me reference to another GMT that we had on the channel, guys, if you haven't checked it out.
Yes.
Shout out Christopher Ward.
Yeah.
But the GMT hand, that orange, just like little subtle, I think it's really, really nice. This, to me, seems more of a daily watch for someone like me, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm also someone, I enjoy very simple cases. I like very simple dials. Yes, occasionally, we can go crazy.
Yeah.
But something like this, I could wear this every day, definitely, for sure. I mean, it's Bell&Ross, so and rubber strap is versatile. case back is very,
Yeah,
very
I really like the case back. The case back is nice, open. You can see what's going on in there. But talk to me about the bezel. Is it unidirectional? Is it bidirectional?
So it is a unidirectional bezel, and that's the one thing I don't quite like about this watch. It doesn't have those nice tactile clicks that you would expect from like a Tudor or a Submariner, for example. It does do what it is supposed to. It has the function. It has the correct form.
Yeah.
It very much screams, this is a classic traditional watch. So it's nothing that's going against the grain. It's not avant-garde, but it's something that definitely speaks to a majority of people, and it's something that can be loved and worn as a daily.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I really do love it. I love the black and white as well. I'm a big fan of GMTs when I did the Christopher Ward video. But yeah, I can actually see what you're saying. It's a bit of it's a faff to move around. So yeah, but I mean, honestly, this, I think for me, it feels more approachable than this one. I feel like this one is like, you can approach it, but maybe for me, I do like a rubber strap where you can just like, fling it on. I'm late, you know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of this one, it's like, okay, let's be gentle first before, you know what I mean? This one, I can just boom.
And what does it retail for on pre-owned?
So pre-owned, this watch goes for around 36,000, 37,000 Rand, which is quite a good watch that you're getting for the money.
Stunning. I've always liked Bell&Ross.
One thing I noticed here is there's actually a date window. I actually didn't actually quite clock that now. So you've really got everything, right?
It's good.
Yeah, the legibility on that watch is honestly perfect. You can't really go wrong with it.
Yeah.
And how do you feel as a brand like Bell&Ross? Like it's not a common mention, but it's here and it's quite present actually from what I've seen. How do you feel about Bell&Ross?
So there definitely is quite a huge cult following with Bell&Ross. I think for a project that started out as a university project, they've done an immense job as well, continue to grow the brand. I do love the watches. They do try to take pride in their movements and the construction of the watches. They don't have your Vacheron or your Patek finishing, but for less than 10% of the price, you are still getting a really high quality watch that is worth it, in my opinion. I would definitely buy this watch.
So you agree with the direction they're going with Bell&Ross?
To some degree. I think they are still releasing some cool models every single year. I think every brand has room to improve. I don't think any brand is doing something that I'm really saying, wow, you guys are really shocking the watch world at the moment.
Okay.
They are still going in line with how things are moving, but they are still keeping with tradition as well.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. Beautiful
Lovely.
watch.
So next I've got a very iconic brand that I personally don't love, but they do get a lot of love, and it is still a great watch. And it's a Tag Heuer Senna. So this was a Senna edition that they made for the Formula One. Very gorgeous watch and a nice bracelet as well. And having the history and homage tied towards Ayrton Senna is just incredible, and I think just makes it a very desirable watch. Also absolutely mint condition and something that we've got for around 27,000 Rand. So huge savings, especially if you're going to compare it to its retail price.
Yeah. Wow. I mean,
and you think about it like Senna as well. Like you wouldn't expect it to be at something at 27, especially if it's paying homage to something like Formula One, right? You'd probably think this is probably 50, 60.
Yeah.
And I mean, also, again, Tag Heuer's racing history sort of being involved in the racing, and I mean, Senna, obviously, you're saying being an iconic driver himself and all of that entire story. This is really, really nice.
And I do love that they have continued to keep this relationship that they have had with Senna, with still releasing new models up until today.
And it's not as bulky as... Because when I, at least for me, when I see them, especially on cameras and like on socials,
this is nice.
They seem very large, like you. Like when I think of some of these tags, I'm already thinking you're 42, 43, 44. In actuality, it's heavy, it's nice weight. You know it's on your wrist. Yeah. But you're not.
It is still a big watch. It's not under 40 mils, so it's not something that.
This is a 42, right?
Yeah. So it is 42. It is quite large, but I think just the light design and construction of the bracelet.
It doesn't give.
It helps hold the watch closer together.
Yeah. It doesn't give that very chunky feel that, for example, like a Panerai, from my experience, you'll get that in almost any case. So yeah, I like that a lot.
I do like the bracelet as well. I do like the bracelet as well. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, this looks great, and I feel like it's probably more accurate than most because it's Formula One, and Formula One you deal with decimal places. So I don't think I'll ever doubt the accuracy of this watch. But
no, and I mean, having a quartz movement, it just increases its reliability and accuracy. You're not worrying about having to wind it up or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good.
And I think with the colors as well, it's super subtle. It's quite a sleeper watch as well.
Yeah, 100%.
The bracelet does scream tag. It does have that link heritage towards how it's constructed and everything. But for a daily watch, it's definitely something you can use as a beta, give down to your children, and just hang on to it. I think it's something very special.
But it has a very sporty feel, I feel like, and I feel like you can also use it for your sports, right? Like,
when I say that, I'm thinking of golf in my mind.
Yes, me too.
Like, this is
me
a
too.
golf,
me
you
too.
know. Definitely. I think, I mean, you've had your thoughts on tag, but I've always liked tag specifically. So like we said, the Monaco, the Aqua Racer, and the Carrera specifically. Just also growing up, that was like sort of a symbol.
Big pop culture.
Yeah, and like status, like, oh, you get Carrera, and obviously associated with the vehicle and the culture and the heritage. So, but this is for the bargain that you're getting. I think that's a pretty good watch. Yeah.
And I think Tag has a lot of racing history in it. Heuer obviously is the pioneer of racing history in watchmaking as well. And Tag has tried to continue the legacy as well as they can. They've had a few rough years in the early 2010s, but I think they are trying to get back on the right platform now.
Yeah. How in relation to the most recent collab being the limited with Kith, we spoke in the previous video we did. In relation to this, like, how do you think that sort of direction is leaning a bit too far from what we would expect or assume Tag to be comfortable doing or not doing? Or is it around the same lane of, you know, sort of in your face?
I think it's definitely something different. I think they're trying to get off the beaten path. And I think the Tag and Kith collaboration was something that, in my eyes, should have done better than the Omega Swatch collaboration.
Really?
Just because of the influence on fashion with Kith and Tag's long history with Formula One. I thought they really were going to do something special. The only downside with those watches was the retail price. The asking price for something that is still a quartz movement and on a rubber strap was a bit far-fetched and overkill. I think if they priced it around the 15 to 20,000 rand brand new, they would have been selling out the door.
Hotcakes. Okay, fair enough. So, like, in terms of your personal favorite out of these three sort of entry levels, where would you
fall into?
I think personally I would go with the Bell&Ross just because it's something that has a bit of functionality that I would use. GMT tracking the second time zone is something that is quite useful for me. I love the rubber strap, super comfortable, very lightweight, and to me this just screams watch. This just screams this is what a watch should look like. It's simple, it's legible, and it's just easy to know what time it is.
Nice. What would you go for, Daniel, actually?
Me? Yeah. I mean, I have to agree. I'm a simple dial dude. This Bell&Ross is absolutely beautiful. I think GMTs, I mean, like, it will encourage me
to travel
to
more.
travel, you know, because I'm like, I want to actually use it.
Yeah.
But even just again being able to track it, and again, like, the build quality feels amazing. The finish is good. Yes, it's not your, not even close to your Pateks and stuff, but that's not the point. Considering on pre-owned, I'm getting a watch, that is probably a pretty crazy value, man. Like, and I mean, again, from face value, it doesn't look as what it's worth per se.
Particularly interesting,
It doesn't look interesting. It won't catch your attention. But again, if someone sees it, like, oh, are you wearing? It's like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like this Bell&Ross. And what about you, Bianca?
Yeah, I think I'd also have to go for the Bell&Ross, but on a... This is not a Bell&Ross ad, by the way.
I thought you were going to say Tag.
No, I mean, I do love Tag, but the reason why I'm going for Bell&Ross is, for me, I mean, you mentioned all great points, but for me, it's about approachability. I can approach this watch without feeling like, you know what I mean? And I think for me, I think like you said, I love a simple dial. The experience of holding it, it's not, you're not overly stimulated or anything like that. I really like the numbers on the dial. It kind of greets me nicely. It's like, hello. You can wear me,
It's not intimidating.
It's not as intimidating as this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would wear this on any given day, but I think for me, it's just like, I'm more of a like slap it on. Let's get to work. But this one is almost like I need to wake up at 7, make sure my day's planned. Put it on nicely. Okay. This one I'm more like let's get to work kind of thing.
You're still getting your money's worth.
Yes. And then speaking of course, you mentioned the GMT, right? Encourages you to travel more, different time zones. So it's kind of like, goals that you also want to reach. And I feel like I think it's a board meeting kind of thing, closing deals. I think it's a deal closer, this one.
Really?
The way I see it,
I don't blame you.
So Bell&Ross, you have all three of us. It's a unanimous decision, right?
That's a good watch. That's a good watch. So now, we've done the entry sort of invitation. Like, look, you want to get into the taste of luxury.
Yeah.
This is where you could lean towards. Now, the next watch is a brand that we have a love-hate relationship with on the channel. But as we've said privately and on camera, their vintage stuff are just
second
almost second to none.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna get into the really cool stuff.
Yeah. Heavy hitters.
Hitters.
So definitely not watches that I would recommend to a first-time buyer. These are watches that you buy when you have already 5 or 6 watches and you're starting to look for something that's got a bit of a complication, maybe something precious metal, something a bit more special and limited.
Okay.
So the first one that I brought you is this gorgeous AP Millenary. It's a very large and quite oblique case size. It's 45 mils across. And what I love about the watch is you can actually see into the beautiful movement that they finished here. And it's something that you're not going to see every day. It's something that I've seen one of so far in my life. And the case shape is different, but it does make the watch incredibly comfortable to wear, and I think this is the ultimate dress-up watch. The white gold really is precious. It's got beautiful Roman numerals and 5-minute increment timer on the dial, and speechless. There's not much else to say about this.
I mean, I can say, we've said this so many times, this is the first time I've ever seen an AP like this. This is the first time I've ever seen it. I didn't even know
it existed.
I'll admit. But I mean, of course, I can't take this home. But this is. I agree. This is probably a James Bond-esque, high class. One of few people
at the casino.
Like you just whip this on. Everyone's like
bow tie, black tux.
Yeah, to me it's a Bond villain watch.
This
you need a full black tux.
This is absolutely incredible.
For sure.
And the movement, I mean, the case back, it's absolutely stunning.
I do love that little gold rotor.
Yeah, rotor with the engraving. Stunning. See, AP, what happened? What happened? Look at this. What happened?
Ooh, you're being spicy. Yeah, I see you.
I'm joking. Yeah. No, this is an incredible watch. Thank you so much for bringing this here. Wow, this is amazing.
And it's just a taste of what AP can still be. Yes. They still have it to create these beautiful, well-crafted watches. And don't get me wrong, I love a Royal Oak. I think they are beautiful and superb.
But this, like,
we are the gorgeous dress watches.
Like, where's that character? And I think, I think when a brand starts to find sort of their like milking cow, if you will, which is the Royal Oak.
They tend to rest on their laurels a little bit, right?
They'll rest, and then they know, like, because the culture has the Royal Oak. Royal Oak is just a symbol of success and where you want to get to and all this kind of stuff. And then you realize that, before that, of course, Joe Genta, absolutely unbelievable, iconic. Thank you for everything you've done.
For your contributions.
Thank you again. But, I mean, if AP, like today, right, if they came with something this abstract, this different to what we're obviously used to in modern time, I think that would shake things up a lot.
I think they'll get a lot of love for it as well.
I think so too. I think people are like, okay, and of course those who are vintage lovers, I mean, the oblique, like you said.
There are definitely purists out there that are looking for these.
We'll look at this and say, this is the AP that I sort of love.
I remember, actually,
I remember, Now imagine a gentleman who has this particular timepiece somewhere in the world, looks at another diamond Royal Oak, right, rainbow, and looks at this and you're like, I mean, I don't want to use the word AP, but like some people would think of it a bit tacky. From if you just compare the two, right, from flashy in your face to understated, high quality, you know, rubber strap James Bond villain. You know.
But actually, you know what? I actually agree with you on that, and I feel like it's almost like a if you know kind of watch. Like people would be like, okay, I know that kind of watch. One thing I like about them most is like the Roman numeral indices. Those are really cool, and it's made in like a very nice font where it goes wide and then it goes closer. So
it's almost like a fisheye
kind of like
lens
lens
kind of
thing,
effect.
yeah,
It's
where the
beautiful.
perspective is kind of different. So I don't think you'd get tired looking at this stuff.
No, definitely
You wouldn't,
not.
right? Yeah.
It's beautiful. This is an incredible time.
With the little
So,
date marker here at the 3 o'clock. Yeah.
Casey, break my heart. How much?
So we've got this one priced quite fairly, at least I feel so,
Okay.
well under the market related prices for these, and we've got it for around 340k.
340.
So it is still, it's a big chunk of change. It's
Yeah.
not something anyone can just go and pick up any single day.
Mm-hmm.
But for the right collector, this is the perfect watch.
This is beautiful.
It's a good dress
Absolutely
watch.
stunning.
Definitely.
Wow.
I also do love. Is this alligator strap? What kind of strap is this? Can you?
So
just
I do
talk me
believe it is going to be alligator leather.
through? Okay,
Yeah.
alligator leather. Okay, so I was correct. Okay, cool.
Stunning. Wow.
Right.
AP. Just like, you know what I mean? Come on.
You can do it.
This is beautiful. This
Yeah.
is absolutely stunning. And it's not flashy. I think also it's a personal preference. I don't like flashy. I don't like bust down.
You're
I like-
more of a conservative type.
I'm a
guy,
conservative dude. I need to know that my 340 is going in something that when I choose to pull it out, it's like
Yeah. No one's wearing it.
it's a head turner. It's a looker like, okay, wow. And obviously in the right spaces, you know, your dinners, your private events, your
High stakes poker game.
yes, genuinely, you know, those places where people would look at this and it's a conversation starter, I think,
Yeah.
as well. Because again, in terms of what socially speaking, what we're used to seeing now, this is definitely not an AP that people are used to seeing.
No, definitely not.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
So next up, I've got a very, very gorgeous and quite a big heavy hitter from Rolex. It's a black Sky-Dweller and oyster steel bracelets with the oyster clasp and everything. This was Rolex's most complicated wristwatch and still is, released just in the early 2010s, sorry. And to me, this is one of the grail Sky-Dwellers I would ever go for. Fits me perfectly, so I think it's already a sign. And
For sure.
I don't know, a Sky-Dweller to me just is in a class of its own. I'm not the biggest fan of your Submariners, Sea Dwellers, your sports watches, but to me this just shines differently and it's got some real heft to it.
Yeah. I mean, Rolex is generally you know, like when you put it on, you're like, I've got something.
I've got something
on my
yeah,
wrist.
Yeah.
I mean,
It reminds you. It's like I'm right here.
it's like I'm here and I'm not going anywhere
Yeah.
anytime soon. I mean, the fluted bezel is just any fluted. I mean,
Yes.
the
The
fluted
bezel.
bezel
Oh my
is
goodness.
just
The craftsmanship
absolutely
that goes into it. Is,
unbelievable. I mean, we spoke off camera how when the first time we saw Rolexes, they were telling us when we said, "Oh yeah, this is nice." Still, they're like, "Excuse me, it's not." We were like, "Oh, what is it?" It's like oyster steel. We're like,
It's oyster steel.
Sorry,
Get it
sorry.
right.
Sorry. So oyster steel, Sky-Dweller. I mean, you said off camera as well, in terms of how we were thinking. Okay, from your range of Rolexes, the Sky-Dweller doesn't get as much love. Actually, in fact, it gets more hate, I would argue, than your Submariner, than your Explorers. Than
Do you
your,
feel like it's like the middle child
Then your
of
Datejust.
a family, like
Yo, I feel
the
like
forgotten child?
to me the Sky-Dweller seems like it's the fifth child out of 7.
Oh, damn.
So it's kind of just lost in the middle there.
Yeah.
When it
Lost in
came
the
out,
sauce,
it
yeah.
was great. There was a lot of love around it.
This is
But
incredible.
now there's something newer. You've got the 1908. You've got
Yes.
Which I do like. I do like the 1908, and what can I lie? We got a lot of hate for saying that.
Yes, that's
Because they
true.
were like, it doesn't even look like a Rolex. We're like, that's the point.
That's
Beautiful. Fluted bezel for me. One of my favorite Rolexes of all time, the Chocolate Datejust. I told you off camera with that fluted bezel. I mean, this is probably number 2. Purely based off aesthetics. And again, I mean, a Rolex is a Rolex. Yes, when you put it on, you already know what it is. But this one, or this range, the Sky-Dweller, I think deserves a lot more love. And I think people who have Rolexes or know a lot about the history of Rolex, when you have a Sky-Dweller, I don't think they look at you different. I think it's mostly us who haven't maybe got there yet, and we see Rolex as, oh, I need. you know, I definitely need a date just. I definitely need a day date. You know, I need a Daytona. Like, I need a Panda. I need it. And then the Sky-Dweller comes in like, no, move.
Sky-Dweller is usually pushed to like the last of the list on people's radars.
Which is ridiculous.
Which is sad, yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I feel like it's a bit sad because you said it's one of the most complicated watches Rolex has ever made. So it should actually be more towards the top because I value craftsmanship and I value like the complexities of it, like really going into the technical. So I feel like it is sad. But one thing I would say I really like about this watch is the legibility of the date window. It's perfect. Good font. I can see what date it is. I don't have to like really like, what is this? But yeah, I mean, honestly, like this is something I would wear for sure. But I mean, like, talk to me about like in terms of like where does this fit? Like, is this more of like it's more like a daily wear, or is it more like I'm going out with my wife to a fancy dinner, fancy restaurant type?
This is definitely something, at least to most people, I wouldn't recommend as a daily. It's something that you want to kind of dress up and wear to a special occasion.
Like a wedding.
A wedding, your kid's birth, anything that you want to really remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing about the Sky-Dweller that I love the most is just the month indication, just with the red block in the corners.
Yes.
It's just far easier to read
that, yes.
opposed to a date or an annual calendar where it's written out and it's quite long and a bit of a pain to set.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely positioned in a place where it doesn't get the love it deserves. And it's a shame because it is a gorgeous watch. It does need a larger wrist. That's the only thing.
This is a 42, right?
So it is a 42. It wears closer to a 43 or 44 in my eyes just because of its size. It is a bit thick. It does have a bit of chunkiness to it. But it's still an absolutely gorgeous and stunning watch.
This is absolutely amazing.
So break my heart. What's the damage?
So the market on Sky-Dwellers has come down quite a lot.
Okay.
In the early 2020s, it was... This same model would range between 400,000 and 500,000. Now you can pick up this exact black Sky-Dweller full set for around 350,000, closer to 320 on some models without full sets. So for a watch only with serious complications in it, you are getting a lot of value.
Yeah.
And it's something that not everyone is going to be going after as well. So there's a bit of
exclusivity to it, because like not everyone has the same Rolex you do, right?
But I mean, I thought you were gonna say like, I thought you were gonna like crush me and be like 600, 500.
The funny thing is, once you start moving to the Sky-Dwellers and Oyster Flex with a rubber strap, those are the watches that are starting to start around 550, 600, 700k.
Okay.
I have seen a lot of celebrities wearing the Oysters, the Oyster Flexes.
Yeah, it's one of the most comfortable straps from Rolex. Obviously, the Jubilee and the Oyster bracelets are very comfortable and great straps. But the Oyster Flex on your Daytonas, on your Yacht Masters, on your Sky-Dwellers, absolutely comfortable. Changes the game completely. You can take your nice sporty dress watch, throw it on a rubber, and you've got something you can wear as a daily.
So utility is the key then.
What's the watch resistance actually on this one?
I believe it's 100 meters or 300 meters. I don't know.
Find out.
not a watch that I would really go diving with. But
of course.
You can get it wet if you are going to be.
I'd be very scared.
Oyster potential. Stunning. Absolutely amazing. And then, what is the final piece of the puzzle?
The last watch is probably the favorite one of mine that I brought today. It's an absolutely gorgeous Cartier tank Obus. This was part of Cartier's Privé Collection Paris, which was a series that they released in 1998 up until 2008.
Okay.
And it was just a homage to some of their most iconic watches that they have released. So it was a re-release of the Santos Dumont, the Tortue, the Tonneau, and the Cartier tank Obus. So what they also did, they decided to get rid of the normal movements that they had in the rest of their lineup, and they went to exclusive manufacturers such as JLC and Piaget, and then they actually sourced this movement for this watch from Piaget. Gorgeous Geneva stripes on the movement, and it's something you don't get to see from Cartier every single day. And absolutely just breathtaking, like
this is
perfect dimensions, nice and lightweight, and it has that old money touch to it.
Yes,
it
that's what I was
does.
actually about to say. Yeah.
And I think one thing about Cartier that I love the most is the blue hands.
Yes.
The blue hands
The
really
blue
just
hands
stand out.
is
And the
just-
Roman numeral dial.
It's
man.
just a sign of wealth, sign of accomplishment, sign of importance.
Yes.
You know, I don't think people who aren't so important wear
Yeah.
or can even get to this point. So definitely it's a sign.
Which is very funny because I saw a debate online, and some people are saying, "Oh, I don't think men should be wearing Cartiers like that." What's your take on that kind of thing? Like,
I'm completely against
there's some
that.
chat online that's like, "No, I don't think men should be wearing Cartiers. It's a weird thing to wear." What do you think?
I think those opinions are just like based around the shape of it being quite a feminine watch.
Right.
And I argue quite strongly against that because some of my favorite watches are your vintage Piaget, your Cartier, your Vacherons.
Polo 79.
And a lot of
Piaget,
those
yeah.
watches are very small case sizes.
Okay.
I disagree. I mean, like the Cartier Crash, for example.
Yeah,
I know
what do you
people
think?
say,
Yeah.
men shouldn't wear that because of, it's petite, it's obscure, it's more feminine, it's more organic and lines. And I'm like, okay, but like, have you worn a Cartier though? Like, do you know, do you know what it feels like to put one on?
Yeah.
And I think this is, I mean, a tank, Santos Dumont. I mean, just absolute classics. I mean, a tank was one of. Definitely one that I hope to own one day.
Yes, for sure.
Definitely a Cartier tank.
Speaking of the tank, I also loved what Princess Diana did with the brand as well. You know, you'd always see those paparazzi shots of the Cartier. I feel like she also kind of had like her share in making Cartier kind of very, very popular.
But I think that's the thing with Cartier. Is that Cartier is a very classy.
Yes.
It's pure class. It's very first class type experience. So I think the tank is of course no different. I mean, brand new or not, this looks incredible. This looks absolutely stunning. And what's the case on that? That's a 30...
It's probably around 32, 33 millimeters across, so it is quite small.
I must say though,
but
I like, as a guy...
Yeah, this is your type of watch.
As
yeah.
a guy, yes, I'm going to say it on camera. As a guy, I like ladies' watches because they fit better on me.
Yeah.
They fit better, they look good. I think also it's not too small to wear. I'm struggling to read the dial. It's actually very legible still. And of course, it's Cartier, you know what I mean?
But I think we're also at a time where people are starting to move around from those large case sizes.
Yeah.
The early 2000s when Panerai was pumping out with Sylvester Stallone and Arnold was pumping out the AP offshore, those were gargantuan watches and only a handful of people could actually wear and appreciate them.
Yeah, like bodybuilders.
And now with pop culture and everything, everyone is starting to look back at the 70s, the 80s, your gorgeous dress watches when there was so much craftsmanship in designing the bracelets, using gorgeous dials from gem set dials. You have your Onyx, your Tiger's Eyes, Cornelian, everything. And I think those smaller case shape sizes are going to come back in full force in the next 5 years.
Interesting. One brand actually now you reminded me of in terms of that tiger's eye and like this very exquisite look is Bell&Ross. Bell&Ross, I like, it's very obscure shapes as well on the dial, but again, very simple, not in your face, classy, but it gives that impression of that we would get from a Cartier, from a vintage Piaget, vintage Vacheron, vintage AP, and bring it obviously to the modern market now.
Yeah.
I think Bell&Ross is one brand that just came to mind that does that really, really well. Shout out to Bell&Ross.
And it's actually very difficult to translate something from the old days to the new days. Is actually something that people don't really get to appreciate.
Yeah.
Because people may have liked it back then, but now it's that transition, people don't always appreciate it like
And
that.
also, trends are a real thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's not trendy. It's not trendy or hasn't been a trend to have an understated, subtle, classy watch worth more than your house type of thing. You know what I mean? It's not a thing.
Yeah.
Whereas now, to your point, Casey, that now there's a shift where people actually acknowledge like, actually, but this looks better. Even from just visually, this looks better. And then you can, if you're interested in history, you go into the background, like, actually, I understand why this has more value apart from longevity and history. It makes sense. It's built perfectly. And I think the Cartier tank is a absolute. It's
a weapon.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think Cartier, because of the jewelry side of it, gives that impression of femininity a lot.
And I think what Cartier is also doing now with the re-release of the Cartier Benoit, they are trying to make their watches stand out more as these jewelry pieces, like the Bulgari Serpentine.
Yes.
Like, I remember seeing, I think it was Emma Chamberlain wearing the Benoit as a choker.
Yes,
and I think that was really cool. Obviously, there have been a lot of different versions of that. Other brands also trying to get onto that kind of little hype, but I think Cartier is a brand that is going to stand the test of time. It's going to be here for another 100, 200 years. As long as watchmaking is still loved, Cartier is still going to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't disagree with you more. So, out of these three,
yes, which are you taking home?
For me, it's quite an easy pick. I don't even have to think twice. I'm going to take the Cartier Tank Obus.
Okay.
Just because I know it's something that no one in the country is going to be wearing.
Yes.
It's something that's going to stand out. I'll get a bit of praise towards it, and it's a conversation starter. It's definitely something that you can have a good chat about, and one thing leads to another.
beautiful.
You? What about you?
Bro, you're making me think, bro. Firstly, all three, like, unbelievable. But again, like, I'm a big fan of understatement. So, Cartier would be my first choice. But what I would actually pick from this, just because I'm obsessed with the uniqueness, I would have to take the AP. I would have to take this AP purely because it's just, this Millenary is just different. It's different. I've not, again, this is the first time I've ever seen it. The reflection on the Romans is beautiful.
Yes. A little bit of glare to
white
it,
gold. Yeah, I just think it's different. And again, it still has that class, although it's not as understated as a Cartier, but same history, same level of quality.
And you're still in the AP family, but you're just more vintage. You're
you're going back to the roots almost, if you will. So I would take the AP.
Yeah, okay.
I would take the AP.
What's your choice?
I think I'd have to go with the Rolex, unfortunately and sadly, because I know I could never wear it, especially in South Africa. But I really do like the Rolex. I think the Rolex speaks to me, but I wouldn't take it in this kind of strap. I would take it with an Oyster Flex. I think the Oyster Flex will help me feel a little bit easier because I am a clumsy guy, so I might just scuff the Rolex, you know. So I'm a clumsy dude. So I think I would take the Sea-Dweller. I just like what it represents. Honestly, I think it's a Monday to Friday kind of watch for me. I would daily it. If
you would daily Sky-Dweller?
Yeah, I mean, if in perfect conditions, of course. We live in South Africa, you know what I mean? South But I mean, yeah, I think I would daily this, bro. And I feel like you said, it's like the fifth of the seventh child, right? So it's a forgotten kind of Rolex. So it's almost kind of has its own exclusivity to it because it's like, okay, everyone's wearing Submariner, but I'm wearing something different. So I'm still kind of unique in that sense. But I mean, I would definitely take the King of Watches. Well, I deem them to be the King of Watches, Rolex. Yeah, I would definitely take this. This is me.
This is you.
Yeah, this is
fair enough.
This is Yanko. Yeah.
Well, I guess we like all three. But honestly, Casey, again, thank you for coming. You've blessed us with an incredible assortment. This will not be the last time they see you.
Yes.
Obviously. But
no, we've really been blessed today. Oh,
this is amazing. But I mean, listen, if you want to go, my personal opinion, if you want to go for you just want to walk into a room and that the right person notices your watch, it's Cartier.
Yes, I think we can agree on that.
For sure. If I want to flex on you,
Rolly.
Bro. You must know.
I just want to roll you.
Like, okay, he's one of those. But I mean, again, the Sky-Dweller is the middle child, sort of in the range of Rollies. Yeah. So I think, I think more people need to actually pay more attention to it. Yeah. Because I think even the way they Rolex still advertise the Sky-Dweller, they make it look probably better than most of their in terms of marketing. They market it very, very well, but still, I guess, of course, if you're a regular Rolex customer or whatever, this is a no-brainer for you. But if you're new to it or whatever,
you wouldn't really bat an eye.
You wouldn't put it under your your list of, hey, could I get a Sky-Dweller? You'd be like, oh, I need, I need a Submariner, I need a Daytona, I need a Datejust, Day-Date, and all the other ones. Yeah. A 1908, I would actually get 1908 over Sky-Dweller, personally. Okay. Again, that goulash dial finish, very classy, very clean.
1908 also seems very easier to approach than the Sky-Dweller. Yeah. Or maybe it was because of the strap it came with.
Probably the strap. I mean,
Like
I think
the color also.
Yeah, but also
1900,
the case is a nice round case,
Simple.
very classic watch. So even from afar, it doesn't look like a Rolex. Like again, social media has a big role to play in all that we're doing now. Because now when you see this fluted bezel, already you know what it is. 928 doesn't have a fluted bezel, so that already makes you think, oh, could it be? Could it not be? Of course, if you're into watches, you're like, oh, 928. If you're not, you're thinking anything else but a Rolex. You're like, oh, I'm actually wearing a Rolex. Like, oh, it's not. Okay, so you're that guy.
Yeah, lovely.
That's crazy. And what does the Cartier retail for?
So we've got the Cartier for about 220,000 rand.
Okay.
So it's definitely in the higher spectrum of Cartier watches. It's nothing like a crash. You're not going to be paying 2 million rand for a watch.
For a crash,
Yeah.
But it's a bit more than you would pay for your typical Cartier tank.
Oh, okay.
Okay. To be fair, this is one of the from the early release, so fair enough. Well, I mean, guys, this is the special, y'all.
I have one more question to ask Casey.
Yeah.
What watch advice would you give to people that are getting watches, whether they're new or whether they're watch veterans, in terms of buying it? Like, what advice would you give in terms of that?
I think the best piece of advice anyone can have, especially when they are going to be spending quite a lot of money on a watch, is you need to do your research.
Okay.
Not just on the watch, but the person or the company that you're going to be buying it from.
Mm.
If you're buying from retail, you have a bit more peace of mind because they are established and they have backing behind them. On the grey market, there are a handful of dealers in the country. You do just need to do your own due diligence with each dealer. Build trust with your dealer, and that's the best way to get the best watches. Once you trust your dealer, you know you can rest assured your watches are going to be looked after, and if anything goes wrong, they'll look after you and sort the watches out as well.
Great.
So I think just
Great
due
advice,
diligence is the best thing to have when buying watches.
Yeah, because there's a lot of fake stuff out there, and you can see the way the fake market is going. They look really, really close.
And a lot of the super clones now are at the point where you have to open them up, you have to check the movements, and even then, some manufacturers are taking the balance wheel from a genuine Rolex, putting it in a super clone, and then it's nearly impossible to tell the difference because the balance was the only thing in the movement that really stood out from a fake and a genuine Rolex. So you have to be cautious. You can't just trust box and papers. Box and papers is easier to fake than a watch. So don't just buy a watch based on having it letting it have box and papers. Rather buy the dealer first.
Well,
you heard it from him.
And a good dealer is Luxury Time.
Yes.
So check them out. You know what to do. Let them know that the Dial sent you. If you want any of these watches that we've spoken about, the AP, obviously. And then, you guys, you know who to talk to. Casey's your guy. But thank you again, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Been a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. So we'll see you soon. But
I mean, like, share, subscribe, by the way, guys. Yes, 500 subscribers special. You know,
and
we need those likes.
Only going up from here.
Yes.
But never forget to
stay on the watch.